Mm. You look like a bulldog when you make that face.
I am. Secretly. You didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Hello!
Hello!
Tea.
We like.
Can't be trusted.
You forgot your.
Okay, let's do it again. All right. Today we are reviewing Lumberjanes.
Issue 1.
Issue 1.
Which is a comic book.
That's right. It is by Noelle Stevenson and Grace Ellis, illustrated by Brooke Allen,
and published by Boombox.
I just love saying that.
She's better at that than I am.
What is this about? Lay it on us.
It is about a group of girls, 5 I believe, who go to this camp for Lumberjane Scouts. Mm-hmm. And in Volume 1, start to discover this camp is not what it appears. It's full of some supernatural stuff. Is there magic later on?
Magic?
She read more.
I did. I kind of went
cheated.
Bonkers. We have had numerous discussions, because we talk about these book reviews before we actually put cameras in our faces. We try to gather what intelligence we have. Lumberjanes, as opposed to lumberjacks, so already it's dividing this, it's letting you know this is about girls. But we talked about how language is now inadequate to us, because Lumberjanes doesn't just encompass this is about girls, and, you know, maybe that other book is about boys. I would love to see this read by children, starting on 8, depending upon their reading level, and also depending upon, parental sensibility, up to the age of 13 or 14.
Which brings us to your rule.
Brings us to my rule. Anything your child reads, I encourage you to read it too. It not only keeps you up to date with what your child's interest is, or your young adult's interest is, but it also, when the hard questions come out. And Lumberjanes is a graphic novel that is so much fun, but from which some challenging and interesting questions might come your way from your children. When your child does ask these questions, you don't get embarrassed or flustered or shut them down, or in some way try to just
shame them,
and
because you're uncomfortable.
Because you're uncomfortable, not because you want to shame them, but because we are humans and we don't do well when we are surprised with something we don't know how to handle. Also, you will know an answer. You'll be prepared. You'll have an answer. You'll have an answer. And Lumberjanes has potential to bring up some of these. Such as, on the very light side, the language in Lumberjanes delights me, because instead of exclamations like, wow, or holy moly, they add the names of famous female people in society and history. So, in this first issue, it comes across as, holy Bessie Coleman. Can't you just see your kid or your student laying on the couch, sitting in a chair, reading through this, having a lot of fun, and then saying, hey, who was Bessie Coleman?
And I don't remember who Bessie
Learning
Coleman
opportunity
is.
For the child, possibly adults
and
too.
Adults,
so,
right?
Because then you have to, just a minute, look it up, refresh your memory.
All right, now here's the thing I think is most important we should discuss. The fact that it is not really girl-centered.
It's marketed as girl-centered.
Is it really?
It's focused as being a girl-centered novel.
Which is too bad, because it's not a traditionally girl-centered novel, which is what we need to tell them
It's
about.
A person-centered novel, and the characters haven't been identified as female, but it's so much wider than that.
I mean, they're not stereotypical girls. That's number 1.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means. 2, the camp is not for, what do they call them? For strong... we have to look this up.
Hardcore lady types.
There you go. It's for hardcore lady types. But what they mean by that is anything. And the point of it is they're people. And what I love about it is it smashes a lot of stereotypes about boys and girls, which is why I think boys should read it as well, so that they can get a broader picture of girls and also understand that some of the stuff they do that might be considered girly is not girly. It's just a people thing, a person thing, a human thing.
When we read this, we were only going to do issue 1. And I read ahead, because
she always does.
I always do. And as you go on, you start to get a feel like there might be a transgender girl character. There might be one of the characters is gay or more is gay. That's where you reading ahead as the adult really kind of just informs you, because this might be a non-issue, which I hope it is. But
you could have said that louder.
This might be a non-issue, and I hope it is.
There you go.
Okay. In which case, you're just reading ahead for content and to know when the questions are going to come. If it's something that you are into your own process of growth and learning about, then this is a very good way to prepare yourself and how you're going to answer. Or if you can't answer, are there resources or people that can help you answer this with sensitivity and honesty and truth? What do you love about it? What are your yays?
My biggest yay is the Lumberjanes Pledge, which encompasses taking care of each other, taking care of nature, this is my favorite line, being interesting and interested, which I think is not always the case in all of us. It's talking about just being a good human and just being interested in nature and in each other and providing a community for each other and supporting each other. And basically, it goes along our theme, right? To choose acceptance of all of it, not just each other, but of creatures, whatever comes up.
I really love the style because for me it's reminiscent of Japanese manga and animation. The art style, it really draws in a young reader. It drew me in. Any FYIs?
Yes, I had one FYI. It confused me at the beginning. It starts in media res, which is Latin, I believe.
It's a fancy word.
For in the middle of action, which I don't mind. In fact, books I write do that. But the way it started, I personally was confused. And it doesn't clarify what they're doing at the time until 2/3 of the way through the book.
Yeah.
And so my FYI would be I wanted it to start in a different place. Yeah. But Christina has an opinion on that. So.
One of the things that we discussed that I pointed out is that how a whole grown-up person reads a graphic novel is going to be different than how an 8, 9, or 10-year-old reads it. And so for an 8, 9, or 10-year-old, I could very easily see them really comfortable just jumping into a confusing swirl of action and then kind of learning along the way. And that's kind of how life as a young person is. I think this is a sensibility that they have more than us grown-ups who really we want everything planned, we want to be warned, we don't want surprises. Annie doesn't like it when I say that grown-ups tend to like to know what to expect, and we kind of like things planned, and she disputes that.
Well,
heavily.
I'm saying some grown-ups, but not all grown-ups.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll give you that. Grown-upping leads in that direction. Conventional grown-upping. You see, adulting, I don't like adulting.
Yeah, adulting's the word they use.
Grown-upping, heads in that direction, unfortunately, which really decreases our sense of enjoyment and play and silliness and, letting ourselves experience things. And we're always worried about setting the tone, writing the outline, knowing what to expect. A young person might not have the same issue jumping in there.
Which I acknowledge. I haven't been 8 for like 2 or 3 years.
At least. Yeah. Any other FYIs?
No, I think that's my only one. We really recommend this book.
Yeah, grown-ups read it. Grown-ups with kids read it. Kids read it. Everybody reads it.
It just reminds you that we're more than just, what's outside.
When I was reading it, I was caught up in the action. I was caught up in the unique characteristics of each character. I loved these characters, and they made me smile, and it had nothing to do with gender or where they were coming from. It's just as individuals. So I would say get it, read it, enjoy it, and remember, choose acceptance. Boom.
Boom.
I got first.
You did.
Thank you.